great to be back in Iowa. I got here Wednesday night, and people who've been around me have noticed that I have this permanent smile on my face for the last few days. It really has been a joy to be back here and to meet a lot of old friends and to go to a lot of places that I've been before. I was in Rock Rapids and in a grill at Rock Rapids, and I saw my name signed on the wall, and I said, okay, I guess I've been here before. And it's, you know, went to Lamar's to had, just for old time's sake, went to the Blue Bunny ice cream parlor and to the Pizza Ranch for lunch. So it's just been great to be back and to visit with folks yesterday at the fair. And obviously, we centered our whole trip around trying to be here, and first and foremost to say thank you, Bob. Thank you to the folks at the Family Leader, and to say thanks to you. Karen and I, when we entered into this race, put our faith in two things, in this order. Put our faith in God and tried to walk the path that He was laid out before us, and we put our faith in Iowa. And we decided that we would just come and make ourselves available to people here and talk about the issues and give them a chance to sort of get to know me, not through these folks down here, but through the folks sitting across the table with you at the coffee shop. And so I have a lot of faith still in the people of Iowa in 2016 and beyond to use their good judgment and try to do what no other state has the opportunity to do, which is really know the candidates. So I'm back here just to say thank you, and to speak into I think, an important issue that we're dealing with in the conservative movement right now. But before I do that, I want to just pick up on what Bob said. We're very, very excited. We're using a young man from Iowa as our contractor. We're putting an addition on our house. It starts this week. We're putting an elevator and a handicap bathroom and a handicap room, because Bella's just getting too big for us to carry up and down the steps anymore. And so that's the best and wonderful investment we've ever made. I wanted to come here, and I wanted to come to the Family Leader because I couldn't think of a better place to come to talk about what's going on in the national debate within the Republican Party. There's a group of folks, interestingly enough, from those on the right of the Republican Party and joining those on the left of the Republican Party, saying we need to talk about more of one thing and we need to talk about less, or not at all, about other things. And I want to share with you my thoughts on that. But it is interesting to know that it's moderate Republicans, those based in the big cities, the political experts, the pros that guided us so well through the last election. They're the ones who are saying, and joining with the folks on the far right, who are saying that we just need to talk about economics. We need to talk about jobs and entrepreneurs and business and how we're going to grow this economy. And if you listen to Republican candidates from the last couple of elections, as well as what the rhetoric that's coming out of both of these sides, it celebrates the free market system, which I do, we should. It's the greatest system in the history of the world. It's created enormous wealth and opportunity. And it celebrates heroes of the entrepreneurs, the big businesses who have been successful, and the small entrepreneurs, all well and good. But we're missing something in that message. I talked about it during the campaign all over the country, something that a lot of folks didn't really capture when they said, well, how did he do so well? I mentioned that over two-thirds of Americans don't go to college. Very few of them are going to be entrepreneurs or going to run big companies. And we need to talk to them too. We need to celebrate them. We can't just celebrate the job creators. We have to celebrate the job holders. And we have to have a message for them. On the night of this, I got an opportunity. I thank Governor Romney for the opportunity to speak at the National Convention. It was a night where there were placards on every seat that said, "We built this." If you recall, President Obama castigated some folks and said that, that business people didn't build their business on their own. And so we seized upon that, rightfully so. But that night, I was backstage and I watched one after another of people of all races and men and women come forward, business people, talk about how they built their business. But not one time did we see someone from the factory floor walk out there and talk about working for the man or woman who built that business and how that helped them and their families. We need to be able to communicate to the folks who hold the jobs and tell them and put a platform together that focuses on them. Because you know what? Not everybody in America is a type A personality that works 80 hours a week to want to build a business and that money is everything to them. A lot of folks want to spend time with their family, work in the community groups, spend time with their church. And we as Republicans believe that's a good thing. But we don't talk about it, and we don't talk to them. So my challenge to the Republican Party is to take a page out of our book and start putting forth an agenda of ideas to raise up folks who want to vote for us. You saw from the last election, they don't want to vote for President Obama, but at least he went out and talked to them. At least he went out and spoke about them. We didn't do that. We marginalized them. So first and foremost, we need to reject this idea that, well, if we just build the economy, all boats will rise and everybody will be fine. I don't know about you, but most people I know have holes in their boats. And when that tide rises, sometimes they don't rise, sometimes they sink. And we need to talk about people who have holes in their boats, because we all do. And we all need help from each other. The second thing is they say we need to talk less about the culture, because we're losing. It's a losing issue for us, and therefore we need to talk less. Now, the people that do this are the very same people who never wanted to talk about culture in the first place. And as a result, don't engage as we have in this party. I'll give you a wonderful example. When I was running for president early on, actually I hadn't even announced, but I went to a breakfast in New York with some of the wealthiest backers of candidates in New York. And I sat down at this breakfast and they grilled me for a half an hour on my moral and cultural positions. And I finally stopped and said, you know, you've had other candidates up here, as I know you have. Did you ask them the same questions? They said, no. I said, well, why not? Because, you know, they have the same position on these issues, at least they say they do, as I do. And they looked at me and said, you're different. I said, why am I different? They said, because you mean it. Public knows when a group of people get up in front of them and talk about things when they don't mean it? How are we going to win this debate if we have people representing us who don't mean it? Who don't have the passion that they have when they talk about the economy or they talk about budgets? We're losing this debate not because of politics, though. Let's be honest about it. Politicians didn't change the culture. The popular culture changed America. And we as conservatives have a responsibility. We as conservatives shouldn't just be involved in the political front. See, this is what the left does better than we do. They live out their beliefs in every aspect of their life. They just don't play politics, but they take politics and their policies into everything that they do. They mean it. They're passionate. You know, there's twice as many conservatives as liberals, and that poll number has been pretty much the same for the last 40 or 50 years. Yet, this country continues to go in their direction. Why? Because they work harder at it. And they understand what moves the country. Aristotle said, give me the storytellers and I will control the nation in a generation. Who tells the stories to your children and to you in America? People like you?